Would you guys believe me if I told you CaseOh was so broke, his credit card got denied at a dollar store?
A couple days before I started streaming, my card got declined at the dollar store. On everything I love, I went to the dollar store, the Family Dollar. I bought 2 bowls of noodles and a can of Pringles. Tried to swipe the card, it got declined. I just ran out the store on them, bro.
Oh my
I didn't steal it, but I just ran up at it because I was embarrassed, you know?
When most people see CaseOh, they think of a rich, funny, overweight streamer.
Bro's built like a 1x1 Lego piece. What even is a 1x1 Lego piece? Hurry up and save the food. Where's the kitchen? Where's the kitchen? Where's the kitchen? Yo, grab me a snack out of there!
But little do y'all know, CaseOh wasn't always like this. He was struggling, and life wasn't so easy for him. With the background he came from, statistically, he wasn't even supposed to make it. But even when life had him down, he kept on pushing. In this video, I'm gonna be explaining to you guys how CaseOh went from broke to rich. Now let's go way back to the beginning. Remember when I was saying the chances of CaseOh being rich and famous was super low? Yeah, it was difficult. CaseOh, also known as Case Dylan Baker, was born in Dallas County, Arkansas on May 9th, 1998. He was fortunate enough to be raised with both of his parents in the house, in a Christian household with 2 brothers. But money was super tight and they were from a lower income family. If you're familiar living in a lower income or poor household, you know that stuff ain't easy. The Dollar Tree and discounts are your best friend, and you'd be lucky to get new clothes every other year. And seeing your parents struggle just to make ends meet is the worst.
My dad, for example, like, dude, this whole life just working. He's had multiple back surgeries, multiple wrist surgeries, multiple foot surgeries, all from just working his whole life. It can break you down, bro. It really can.
In CaseOh's early childhood and teenage years, he had many hobbies such as basketball,
I could dunk on a 10-foot regulation. Dude, I was a hooper, I'm telling you, bro.
playing the drums for his church,
I played drums for the church my whole teenage years.
video games, and his dad was even his baseball coach.
My dad was actually my coach in baseball.
He got his name CaseOh because at school they would call him CaseOh because he was fat.
I was being called CaseOh growing up. That's why I'm named CaseOh.
And if you guys didn't know, CaseOh is a Mexican food. I'm surprised he kept the name because that's low-key disrespectful. Out of CaseOh's many interests, he really wanted to be a YouTuber and streamer when he got older. When he was 14, a creator named Nadeshot inspired him to make videos. So he created his YouTube channel on October 3rd, 2011.
I discovered my first Nadeshot Black Ops 2 video, and I think I was 14. I think the name of the video was like the funniest search and destroy of all time or something. I immediately like, yo, this dude is so cool. And I seen him like streaming Call of Duty, playing it professionally and making it. And I was like, I literally want to be like Nadeshot when I grow up.
In 2015 was when he actually decided to start streaming. So he bought some gear and said, let's go.
The Elgato that I'm using and the face cam that I'm using, I bought back in 2015 because I wanted to start streaming back then.
But unfortunately, he didn't have much luck and he just called it quits.
I made like a couple YouTube videos and they didn't do nothing.
It was also likely the fact that because Call of Duty was so big at the time, everybody was trying to make content, so you had to be different. So it was very hard for CaseOh to differentiate himself. In business, if you want to be successful, you have to be the first to a market, or you have to differentiate yourself or improve a currently existing market. Not only that, but back then, being seen as a streamer was uncool. This was in 2015, and I was around during that time period. CaseOh's not too older than me. When I was in high school, people thought you were a nerd if you watched streamers or played video games. So this might have demotivated CaseOh from making content. But the real reason CaseOh gave up streaming in 2015 was because he wasn't well equipped. His internet was completely trash.
The reason I never streamed till I did is because I literally did not have the internet speed. I had not even 1 upload speed. I had 10 download, 1 upload.
And I don't blame him. That's barely enough to watch YouTube videos on your phone. The stream would literally look like a bunch of pixels on the screen. As life went on and CaseOh grew up, he graduated high school in 2016.
I was mogging, dude. I was literally him back in the day, bro. What happened? You actually look fit in the picture? I was fit in the picture.
CaseOh never saw himself going to college and he hated the idea of it. So he decided to start working odd jobs with his dad. He would do maintenance work, mowing the lawn, and some other tasks.
I worked with my dad, and we were both maintenance men at a elderly housing place. Maintenance ain't easy work. You know, you're crawling under sinks, you're changing faucets, you're crawling up in attics, you know, all that, just nasty.
He even worked at a rice mill for 3 years and he was depressed.
What was your least favorite job ever?
Rice mill. It literally had me morbidly depressed. It was to the point where I would clock out of work on Friday, be off on a weekend, and literally still be as depressed as if I had to go to work tomorrow. It was to the point I couldn't even enjoy my weekends anymore.
And that's not even the worst thing you're gonna hear. CaseOh also worked at a water department, and it's not as fancy as it sounds.
I worked at a water department, and it's not just water. Somebody's sewer tank, you'd have to break the lid off the sewer tank and literally reach your arm down.
We're talking like dookies?
Dookie, straight dookie action. We would literally be at work diving in like sewer tanks, bro. People just took a dump and it's right there floating. I was legitimately afraid to get like hepatitis. It's like, oh, we gotta climb down in this sewer hole today. It's like, bro, I don't want to go down there. I'm gonna die.
That is just insane. I don't even know how CaseOh could mentally stand that. Even with all that hard work, work, he still wouldn't have much money in his pockets. CaseOh was dead broke.
And then I'd get off work from doing that, load the trailer up on my truck and go cut grass till 9 at night, get home at dark every day. Because I had, my grass cutting on the side. I'd go out, it'd be 100 degrees outside, just go cut grass for 4 hours after work, come home. And I'd still be broke somehow, don't get it.
And I'm pretty sure everybody can relate to that too. Working so hard but not getting the rewards you think you deserve. As time went on, CaseOh finally reached the age of 24. He was starting to feel like his life was getting hopeless. He was depressed, working the same dead-end job and not moving anywhere in life. Because of CaseOh's stagnation, he thought it would just be best to go to the military. At least with that, it filled the void in his heart with having no purpose.
I dropped like 50 pounds in 2 months. I was gonna get in the best shape of my life, and I was gonna go to a boot camp, and I was gonna go to the military for 20 years and just be done. I would have rather done that than just work normal. Because at least I could feel like I am doing something. And I was like, already had it planned out in my head. Like you seen them soldiers coming home videos. They're like, I was already planning like, oh, I'm gonna be coming back doing that kind of stuff. Because I was giving up on the thought of being a streamer. Because I was like, oh, I'm 24. It's getting a little late.
Before he went through with the plan, his mom took a notice of his unhappiness with life and told him, why don't you start streaming?
The reason that I gave it another shot again in general was because of my mom. Because I was miserable at work. She hear me complaining like, oh, I hate my job. I want to go do something else. She said, why don't you give streaming another try? Just upload some clips. You're funny. See what happens.
Little did CaseOh's mom know it would be the spark to his streaming career. That goes to show you that even though you're living in tough situations, having supportive parents or a supportive family can be a great motivator.
Growing up, like I'd be playing Call of Duty. She'd come and lay in my bed with me when I was a kid, watch me play Call of Duty for an hour before she went to sleep. She always watched me like playing baseball at every game. And my dad, he was supportive too, but my dad's like the quiet type. Thankfully, neither of them ever bashed it, but my mom really like pushed it. She was like, you can actually do it if you put your mind to it.
So CaseOh took the risk to start streaming. For the next few days, he would devise content ideas and ways to promote himself online as a streamer. A few days before he started his official stream, there was another trigger that caused him to really want to go hard on streaming. In 2022, CaseOh went to a dollar store to purchase something and his card got declined. And I know dang well that situation must have been embarrassing.
A couple days before I started streaming, my card got declined at the dollar store. I own everything I love. I went to the dollar store, the Family Dollar. I bought 2 bowls of noodles and a can of Pringles. Tried to swipe the card, it got declined. I just ran out the store on them, bro.
Oh my
I didn't steal it, but I just ran up at it because I was embarrassed,
This fueled CaseOh even more to want to start streaming because he knew at this point it was to get rich or die trying. So CaseOh took the Elgato and streaming equipment he bought in 2015 that had been sitting for 7 years.
This Elgato that I'm using now and this face cam that I'm using now literally sat in the box until 2022, the very end.
With that, CaseOh locked in and started grinding. Before CaseOh started streaming, he uploaded a few clips on TikTok. He then uploaded his first YouTube video on September 13th, 2022.
The very first TikToks I made, I was pretending to be streaming, but I wasn't actually. I was just recording because I had no way to stream at the time because my internet, it wasn't up to par.
These clips were of him playing NBA 2K, specifically 2K 2023 when it first came out.
I uploaded 3 TikToks that night of me playing 2K23 when it first dropped because I knew it was hot. You know what I mean? Because it first dropped. 2K when it drops is always hot. 3 TikToks that first night. Woke up the next day with like 15,000 followers. I was like, bro, wait a minute, you know what I mean? From then on, I just put out like 6 TikToks a day and then 2 days later started streaming.
And this was a genius idea for a comeback stream because when you upload clips or videos about a new game, it's first come, first serve. You get an initial surge of audience that are interested in that game, regardless of if you're known or not. Remember when I was saying earlier about businesses? If you're early to something, you reap the most rewards because you're launching a product or service that addresses a market need before more competitors come, allowing you to capture a larger market share and potentially make more money by establishing yourself as a leader in that space. Not only was CaseOh's clips early, he was also a funny guy, which kept people staying. The problem was after CaseOh blew up on TikTok, a lot of people told him to start streaming. Now you might be wondering what's the problem in that? That shows CaseOh that he actually has potential and people want to watch him. Well, CaseOh's internet was completely trash.
2 days after I blew up on TikTok, everybody was like, oh, this dude's got to stream. I was like, I can't. My internet's not fast enough. I thought I screwed myself because my internet was not fast enough to stream. I was like, I just blew up on TikTok and now I can't stream to capitalize off of it.
So he got a small Verizon hotspot, not even a router, so he could start streaming.
But I got that little Verizon jetpack, little hotspot that got me 5 uploads, and I was able to stream in 720p.
He used that hotspot to stream for the next year. It's crazy to think how many people were in the same position as CaseOh, where they blew up on TikTok, but maybe in their case, they never had the funds or resources to upgrade their stuff, so it was a lost opportunity. That goes to show you to be grateful of what you have in life, because if there was one celebrity that made it out, there are thousands that that tried and never made it. CaseOh's first live stream was on September 11th, 2022.
It was 2 days after I uploaded my first TikTok. Shout out to the people that dealt with that, man. The quality was terrible. I was streaming like the lowest 720p possible, and it was still crashing every day.
To his surprise, 70 people tuned into his first stream.
I had 70 viewers the first time I ever went live.
Which is unheard of for a new streamer. Most people barely even have 5. To even get 70 viewers, you'd probably have to stream consistently for 2 years straight. I'm talking about at least 3 streams a week. So that goes to show you CaseOh was onto something special.
And there were 70 people in there, and I remember the second stream, 200, 300, you know, it was wild.
What CaseOh did initially to blow up was a strategy called clip farming, where you essentially take a long form video, cut a bunch of short form clips you would post on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, then pray that one of them blows up so it can boost your regular content and your overall presence on social media. Streamers like IShowSpeed did this to blow up. In 2021, Speed went from a small streamer to millions of followers and subscribers due to this strategy. So CaseOh copied that strategy, but he did it very vigorously. Most people would usually do 2 clips a day, but CaseOh would post up to 6 TikToks daily.
Dude, when I first blew up, I was pumping out 6 TikToks a day.
This helped speed up the process of CaseOh blowing up and giving an illusion of consistency. CaseOh's clips were getting millions of views, and I mean tens of millions sometimes. It was ridiculous, and you just had to be there. This made CaseOh lots of attention and some money. What helped CaseOh even more is that these clip postings became a snowball effect. Instead of him only posting the clips, as he grew as a streamer, his fans posted his own clips for him. It was basically free marketing. His fans would then take these clips and upload it onto multiple platforms such as Instagram Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts. They would go viral on those platforms, thus pushing more audience to CaseOh's Twitch stream.
It's about short form clips. That's how you get momentum. You can't just spark up on stream every day and get viewers. That's just not how it is. You gotta go on different platforms, post your clips, and then eventually, you know, if you do it right, people will come.
And this was genius because Twitch ranks streamers by their view count. The higher the views you have, the higher on the streaming list you go. If you have 1 or 2 viewers, you're at the bottom of the list, so it'll be hard for new people to find you. So CaseOh having that initial 70 viewer boost really helped him out with just solely Twitch discovery. Another thing that helped CaseOh blow up was his over-the-top personality. Have you guys ever watched a streamer and you're just like, whoa, this guy is so boring. Just drop the fries in a bag, bro. What are you doing? CaseOh did the opposite and had an outlandish personality people haven't seen before, which made him very entertaining. This then helped drive his viewership up.
You put something on TikTok, they hit, you start streaming, people will go to that, and you put on the same energy, and eventually people are like, oh, this is cool. Because if you don't put on the same energy as you had in the clips, people are gonna be like, oh, I'm not gonna watch.
You get off my screen! Dude, you're disgusting! Bro's the pepperoni paparazzi! Look how disgusting your fridge is! Look at your floor!
You guys see where I'm coming from now? CaseOh's crazy personality and over-the-top reactions helped him reach a wider audience. Not only was his Twitch being promoted, but it also drove traffic to CaseOh's other social media such as YouTube. CaseOh's most viewed YouTube video has over 11 million views. YouTube's got this thing called CPM and RPM, which means cost per mil and revenue per mil. CPM is how much money advertisers are willing to pay for your content per 1,000 views. YouTube takes a 45% cut, which turns into RPM, which is how much the creator gets paid per 1,000 views. CaseOh makes primarily gaming content, which has an average CPM of $4.55. With YouTube's 45% cut, CaseOh's RPM would be $2.50. Now that I've given you all that info, I'll let you do the math as to how much CaseOh made off that one video. If you can't do it yourself, don't worry. I explain it later on in the video. So keep watching. As CaseOh's influence grew, he went full throttle and kept on grinding. He would stream as much as he could for 5 to 7 hours at around 9 p.m. He managed to build a super loyal fan base really quick because of how consistent he was. By the end of September 2022, he would average over 1,000 viewers on his stream. He also hit over 100,000 followers on TikTok, 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, and 30,000 followers on Twitch. The whole internet loved CaseOh. His community was tight-knit, so much so that he even called them the community because of his frequent use of the word "cuh." Get it? Community? Huh? Okay, never mind. He would then take that name for his Discord server, in which he would interact with his community and they would suggest content to post. Everything was looking great for CaseOh. He was finally getting his shot at being a streamer and social media star. But unfortunately, life always has its hiccups. There were a few things holding CaseOh down. Even though he finally had a proper router, the internet was terrible, so he still needed an upgrade. On top of that, he was juggling streaming with work. If you've ever tried to balance a side hustle with working, that thing is so stressful. So you could only imagine the pain everything CaseOh was going through. On one end, his dreams were coming true at becoming a streamer, but on the opposite end, he's still working a full-time job.
It didn't matter the money. I just wanted to do what I loved for a living. I could be, pinching pennies to make it, but as long as I get to stream every day instead of go to work, I was cool with that.
So CaseOh came up with a plan for himself. He told his audience if they could get him past 5,000 Twitch subscribers, he would quit his job straight up.
I told my stream, if y'all get me to 5,000 subscribers on Twitch, I'll call in and tell them I'm done.
This was a huge risk for CaseOh to take, but he knew this was his only chance at doing what he truly loved. And to CaseOh's surprise, the universe rewarded him. His community got him to 5,000 Twitch subscribers. Because of this amazing milestone, CaseOh was now comfortable enough to quit his job. And on November 9th, 2022, CaseOh got invited to the Twitch Partner Program. After reaching the milestone, he had to tell his boss now.
I remember the night we hit 5,000. I was like, all right, tomorrow I'm gonna call my boss.
Even though CaseOh knew everything was coming together for him, it was still kind of awkward telling his boss the reason why he was quitting. Like, how do you tell somebody, especially in a small town that doesn't know this could be a job, that you're quitting a stable income to play video games? Sounds absurd, right? And on top of that, CaseOh worked with his dad, so it added another layer to the awkwardness.
And then the next day, because I worked with my dad, and I was scared. A lot of people don't understand, and I didn't expect my boss to. I told my dad, I said, Dad, because he knew what was going on. He was like, yo, you can actually do this. I said, Dad, can you call them and tell them what's going on? And I remember we was sitting there at work, and he called the boss and told him like, hey, he told him about the TikTok blowing up and how much, the money that I was getting from streaming. And the boss, he was actually cool. And I remember the front office of the place that he called, they were all looking at my TikTok laughing and stuff. I was like, okay, they're cool. You know what I mean? Quitting a job is just, it's weird. Like, hey, boss, I'm playing video games for a living. It'd sound better coming from my dad because, my dad was essentially like his right-hand man.
With that, CaseOh quit his job and became a full-time streamer. He was now living the dream. Shortly after, CaseOh got his own place so he could stream at any time and anywhere. But good things don't always last forever. With more money comes more problems. There was a new obstacle for CaseOh: sustaining his newfound popularity online. CaseOh was doing well streaming, but he was undergoing another issue. CaseOh was stuck making NBA 2K content, and he knew if he kept on playing the same game, his viewership would slowly decrease and he would become irrelevant. So CaseOh was on a journey to find variety, the ability to play any game he wanted and do whatever he wanted.
2K's good. It'll be popping for a couple months and then it'll die down. I seen the numbers when I very first started. The hype was there because I first blew up. Had like 800 viewers every night. Then I seen it dip to like 100, 150. I was like, I gotta do something different or it's gonna go under.
It was February 2023 when he was facing this dilemma. But luckily for CaseOh, there was a new game that came out during that time called Hogwarts Legacy. The game was based off of the Harry Potter books and movies, so we took a chance and started streaming it.
And I also seen Hogwarts Legacy on the horizon. I was like, if I can have another viral TikTok of me playing Hogwarts Legacy, I can get out of 2K and be known for another game, and then from that point go to variety.
To CaseOh's surprise, it worked, and his Hogwarts Legacy clips on TikTok got over 18 million combined views. This then brought more viewers to CaseOh's stream and boosted his presence on social media.
Hey, we got some new drip. Hold on, we can make this work. Wait a minute, let me cook! There is no possible way you can ever say L drip again. Bro's on his way to sign the Declaration of Independence. Yo, ban him.
On February 1st, 2023, CaseOh got 500,000 TikTok followers because of the clips. People weren't just watching CaseOh for the games he played now, they were watching him for him.
I went from having 150 viewers on 2K, and then I switched it up. I had a viral TikTok on Hogwarts. Then I started playing Hogwarts, and then the next stream I was like, yo, I got 600 viewers in here right now. And I did it again and did it again. I was like, yo, they're actually messing with this more. Shout out Hogwarts, man.
At this point, I assume CaseOh got better internet because the stream quality seemed to go up, but this was only the beginning of CaseOh's rise. There was another strategy that made him grow even quicker, and it's called simulcasting. This strategy allows you to not only stream on Twitch, but other social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and anything else you can think of that has a streaming platform, all at the same time. This helped CaseOh's reach and viewership skyrocket. The viewers from the other platforms would eventually go to Twitch to watch CaseOh. CaseOh even got banned on TikTok because of this.
One day when I was streaming on TikTok, I got banned 12 times in one night.
He eventually got his account back, but the strategy was working for him. He would usually stream games like Baldi Basics, Roblox, Five Nights at Freddy's, Fall Guys, Uno, Only Up, and Amnesia. On June 16th, 2023, CaseOh's consistency and variety brought him to over 1 million followers on TikTok, over 178,000 followers on Twitch, and 55,000 subscribers on YouTube. As CaseOh grew, he became a more prominent and controversial figure. More specifically, he was controversial because of his weight. His fans would constantly make fun of him and call him fat.
What do you mean Case visiting the pyramids, bro? What you mean? Who just called me I show calories?
Fortunately, CaseOh doesn't really get bothered by it. He knows his fans are just trolling, so it's all love at the end of the day. If somebody's going too far with the jokes, his fans are quick to defend him.
Because again, I know when they crack jokes, it's all jokes. It's almost like I can pick on my brother, but nobody else can type
Yes.
vibes. You know what I mean? No, I literally wouldn't trade him for the world.
Overall, switching to variety content and being a genuinely humble and cool guy made people love CaseOh. CaseOh's community is his #1 priority, and he always involves them with everything that he's doing, like suggesting games to play, or even playing with his viewers in games like Agario. This synergy between him and his audience caused him to become so loved, and CaseOh has one of the most loyal audiences ever. That's key to having an ever-growing fan base. Fast forward to 2024, CaseOh now has over 6 million followers on YouTube, over 8 million on TikTok, 6 million on Twitch, with an average of 50 to 80,000 viewers concurrently on stream, 500k on Twitter, and over 600k on Instagram. All of this wasn't possible without CaseOh's parents' support, in particular his mother, because she was the one that enticed him to start streaming. She's currently his full-time manager and moderator for his Discord server.
To this day, she manages everything for me, you know, just wanting to be involved.
Even with all this success, CaseOh wasn't shy to talk about the downsides of being this famous. He has stalkers following his every move.
I'll be on my back porch, butt naked in the road. You know, I got people like on the road, hiding behind a corner, behind a tree, like head glitching the tree with a camera, taking a picture on my back porch. I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
And I know most people don't mean no harm, you know what I
No,
mean?
they don't.
But it can be a little scary.
And being at the top gives him a lot of anxiety because he doesn't want to get too comfortable.
Because in my mind, I feel like if I have that thought and tell myself that I made it,
You don't want to get like lazy.
it's gonna go downhill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's completely natural to feel that type of way, but you can't let things like that hold you down. Just make smart choices, strategize, and keep going. But for the most part, things are going great for CaseOh. He's collabing with the biggest influencers and streamers like Jinxie, Kayama, and XQC. CaseOh even won multiple awards. On February 18th, 2024, he got a Streamy Award for Best Variety Streamer, and this was his reaction.
Goes to CaseOh.
And CaseOh definitely deserved this. He's been consistent for the past 2 years and managed to retain his audience while playing different games. CaseOh's one of the most successful streamers in the industry right now, all at the young age of 26, and he's making millions. That brings me on to my next segment. How much does CaseOh really make? In this section, we'll be calculating CaseOh's income sources and his final estimated net worth. Let's start off with where I left you guys off earlier in this video. CaseOh's most viewed YouTube video and his ad revenue. CaseOh's most viewed YouTube video has 11 million views. The average CPM for a gaming channel like CaseOh is $4.55. After YouTube takes their 45% cut, CaseOh's CPM turns into something called RPM, which means revenue per thousand views. CaseOh's RPM is $2.50. So with a CPM of $4.55, CaseOh would have made $50,000 from an 11 million viewed video. Obviously, YouTube has to take their 45% cut, so the takeaway revenue CaseOh gets from his RPM is $27,500 off of one video, which is still a lot of money. Now let's combine all of CaseOh's views and see how much he's made throughout his YouTube career off of just ad revenue. Currently, CaseOh has 2 known official YouTube channels. If we take all the views from those channels, CaseOh would have a combined total of 1,048,000,000 views. Now with a CPM of $4.55, CaseOh would have made a combined total of $4,770,000 off ad revenue from all of his YouTube channels. But unfortunately, YouTube has to take their 45% cut, so CaseOh's left with the RPM, and his actual takeaway is $2,621,000 off his combined ad revenue from all of his channels. And this is barely scratching the surface. CaseOh's making money off of sponsorships, merchandise, stream donations, and much more. But let's take it one at a time and see how much CaseOh makes off of Twitch ad revenue. Based off some research I found, Twitch's gaming content typically has a $2 to $5 RPM, so we can find a middle point and get an average of both of those numbers. And that average would be $3.50. CaseOh usually averages around 60,000 viewers per stream. So with an RPM of $3.50, CaseOh would make $210 off ad revenue for one stream. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but hold on. It adds up. CaseOh streams on average 6 times a week. That later turns into 26 streams over the course of a month. So if we multiply 26 by 210, that gives us $5,460 that CaseOh's making monthly from Twitch ad revenue. It might not be as much as the others, but that's someone's full-time full-time job salary right there off of just one revenue source. Now, over the course of a year, CaseOh would stream 312 times. If we multiply that by 210 times a stream, CaseOh would make $65,500 off of just Twitch ad revenue alone over the course of a year. Like I said before, that's somebody's full-time job right there. But ad revenue isn't the only income you can earn from Twitch. CaseOh also makes money from his live stream donations. Now, this one's a little bit tricky because there isn't a consistent amount that you earn per stream. As one day you could earn $1,000, and then the next day maybe $10,000, and then the other day maybe $50. It just depends on who's crazy enough to donate you that much money and how many viewers you have. So let's do a little bit of hypothetical math. The common donation conversion rate that streamers usually get is around 0.5%, and the average donation a viewer gives a streamer is around $5. CaseOh usually averages around 60,000 viewers a stream. So with around 60,000 viewers, with a 0.5% conversion rate, would be around 300 donations a stream. Now, with an average donation of $5, CaseOh could be making approximately $1,500 in donations per stream. Unfortunately, many streamers on Twitch use third-party platforms like PayPal or Streamlabs in order to receive their donations. Now, these platforms usually like to take a 3 to 3.5% transaction fee. If we find a middle ground to that, which is 3.2%, and multiply that by 1,500, they're taking away $48 from CaseOh. So instead of 1,500, CaseOh would be making $1,452 per stream. If CaseOh streams 24 times a month, he'd make $34,800. Now, over the course of a year, CaseOh would be making $418,000 a year off of stream donations. Hey CaseOh, you mind cutting me a little bit of that money? I know a good Waffle House down the street with unlimited pancakes. Okay, let me stop. Next, we have revenue from CaseOh's Twitch subscriptions. A Twitch subscription is a paid monthly membership that supports the streamer, offering perks like exclusive emotes and badges. You could even watch the streamer's content without seeing ads if the streamer enables it. It's kind of like a Netflix subscription, but for your favorite creator. At the time I'm recording this, CaseOh has 68,168 Twitch subscribers. Twitch subscriptions are usually $5.99 a month, so CaseOh would be earning $408,000 a month off of his Twitch subscribers. Over the course of a year, he would be making $4.9 million off of Twitch subscribers. But unfortunately, Twitch takes a 30% cut from subscriptions, so CaseOh only gets to keep 70% of that. So CaseOh actually takes away $285,000 in a month and $3.4 million a year. Next, let's talk about how much CaseOh makes from merchandise. CaseOh has periodical merchandise drops, and based off one of the drops I found online, his average price for merch is $49. On average, most successful YouTubers and streamers have around 1 to 5% of their audience purchase their merchandise. For CaseOh, we could use an estimated 2% for a realistic approach, considering his popularity and active fan engagement. CaseOh has 6 million followers on Twitch and YouTube, so his combined audience on his main platforms is 12 million. So if CaseOh has a combined audience of 12 million and 2% of his audience buy his merch, that's 240,000 loyal fans that'll actively buy his merch. If each of those fans spend $49 on average, CaseOh could potentially make $11,760,000 off of one merch drop. And this is only one merch drop. He could do multiple a year if he really wanted to. But that's unrealistic because making merch and shipping it all out is a lot of planning. And don't get me started on the fees, taxes, and expenses you have to go through. So he might not even get to keep all that money. Now let's get into CaseOh's assets, such as his houses and cars. I don't want to give out too much information, but based off public records, CaseOh's currently living in a $42,000 house located in Clarendon, Arkansas. The house is as simple as it gets, with 1 bedroom and 1.5 bathrooms. I think this house fits CaseOh's personality well, as he doesn't seem like the type to show off or be flashy. He also owns a humble $9,500 car collection that consists of a 1980s Chevrolet P30 step van that he wanted to modify at some point. So yeah, CaseOh basically bought an ice cream truck.
Ice cream truck reveal. It's in my backyard. Here's the right side view. Left side view right here. Front view. Dude, it's got a stop sign on the... I'm gonna take all the stickers, everything off. I'm gonna get it painted matte black. I'm gonna put some underglow in it, and I'm gonna put some of them suspension thing on it so you can like jump up and down in. You know what I mean? It's gonna be an absolute beast once I'm done.
I'm not gonna lie, I kinda see the vision with this car. Let's see if CaseOh actually follows through. Next, we can't forget about sponsorships. That's one of the main revenue streams of most creators. I couldn't find much detail as to how much CaseOh charges for sponsorships online, so we're gonna have to do some estimated calculations. Given CaseOh's influence over a younger and tech-savvy demographic, brands will be be willing to pay a lot for access to his audience. So I'm guessing CaseOh could be charging $50,000 to $150,000 per sponsorship. And if a brand works with CaseOh for a longer period of time, they might pay him even more money. If these sponsorships are a monthly occurrence, by the end of the year, CaseOh would make $2.4 million to $7.2 million a year off of sponsorships alone. Now here's the best part, CaseOh's final net worth. If we combine all of CaseOh's income sources, such as his houses and his cars, within a short period of being a content creator for 2.5 years, CaseOh's final estimated net worth would be $46,700,000. Wow, that's a lot of money. CaseOh, if you need a professional chef, I got you. It'll just be a small fee of $2 million. Even though CaseOh makes a lot of money, unfortunately, the government always has to get involved. So we have to figure out his net worth after taxes. Considering CaseOh lives in Arkansas, he would have to pay federal and state taxes. The federal tax bracket for an income of over $10 million is 37%, and another 4.9% if you live in Arkansas. So 41.9% of CaseOh's income is going straight to taxes. So instead of $46,700,000, CaseOh's final net worth after taxes is $27,170,000. It's so crazy to think the government can just swipe $19 million just like that. But it's a good thing tax deductibles exist. Regardless though, in less than 2 years, CaseOh became one of the most successful streamers ever, with over 20 million followers across all of his social media platforms combined, and he's only gonna keep growing from here. It's crazy to think that he was this close to calling it quits and joining the military. But now the question is, what lies in CaseOh's future? Well, I'll let CaseOh answer that question for you.
Could you see yourself streaming in like 10 years realistically?
10 years is a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know. If it was up to me, yes. But obviously, you know, stuff happens, especially in 10 years.
CaseOh's future is in the open. He still seems to enjoy streaming and wants to do it long term. But like he said, anything can happen. Not everything lasts forever. But in this case, I think CaseOh's future is bright. He achieved success by being a humble, funny, and entertaining guy, and took advantage of his opportunities in life.
The only thing I want to be is a place for people to go for 4 hours a night, forget about life, you know, crack some jokes, you know, have a good time, and just chill out. I never want to bring nothing negative into it, and that's why I never have. But yeah, that's all it is just a place for people to just chill, forget about everything.
Yeah.